So I've been really frustrated with this face. I thought I had it right, I thought I had it feeling right, and I just don't. And I knew it, but I was trying to doctor the entire painting so that it would work. And I feel it's just not going to work, it's not sincere. So what I'm doing right now is wiping it down and starting all over again on his face, on Vidal's face. And this isn't like some rare occurrence. I tend to have a lot of whoopsies and having to shift things around, and I'm not one of those painters that sketches on the canvas first and tries, spends hours trying to get things exact. I paint. And part of the fun for me, and also some of the major source of frustration for me, is in finding the puzzle and getting the puzzle to work and getting the painting to feel right. And inevitably, I fail for a while. I get very frustrated because I've got it all wrong. I think I've got it right, and then I go, it's not quite right. It doesn't feel solid. It doesn't feel the way it should. It doesn't feel the way a face should feel. And I have to give in, and I have to say, start all over again, because you're wasting, I really wasted a lot of paint on trying to kind of wheedle this into shape. So here we are doing what I end up doing every single time, which is wiping it down, because it's all fixable. I can just fix this. When I sat back and took a meditative breath and looked at the reference photo, I realized his face is like an inch or two below where it should be. Where my friend Maddie, Complete Destruction, his face is in the correct space. Vidal's lips were below, and I believe Vidal is just slightly taller, or he's wearing higher heels. So his lips should be up here, and no matter what I do, the entire painting, and then both canvases will be completely off unless I correct this. Now, as I said, this happens in every painting. And here I've been working on a painting of my friend Heather Riddell, Providence painter. I've spent hours on her face, and last night I was yelling at the canvas and I threw a paintbrush, and I did the same thing last week. So far I've moved her eyes up about 2 inches. I've been trying desperately to get the right feel for her face, but somehow she always ends up feeling 30 years older and fatter than she is. She's very petite, but it's the angle of her face that's really frustrating the crap out of me. I love it in the reference material, but I cannot get it to feel correct. And I don't mean just, putting in the proper angles. I mean, it's got to feel like, that's her chin, that actually is, well, it has to feel like she could just start talking. She could just move at any moment. And if I get all the sharp angles in right, and it looks correct, but it doesn't feel correct, I'm not going to get the effect that I want, the long-lasting, that's the human being that I connect with, feel. So really, I just want to take the canvas and jam it on a back of a piece of furniture, just like make holes in it, and then light it on fire and maybe grab somebody's vehicle and run over it a few times. I'm so frustrated. But I also know that if I just let it be and let the paint settle and let my mind settle and focus on something else, I'll be able to distract my way back to where I need to be to make this work and make it click. And there's this click in my head. This is click in my head where all of a sudden I can make anything happen. And I don't know if it'll happen today. I don't know if it'll happen to next week when I get to come back. But I know if I start with Vidal, it just might happen. But I'm not going to force it. I've got to relax my mind into it. When I relax my mind into it, the ability opens up, the puzzles open up, and I can see how to solve the problem. But forcing it is not going to help. And I spent 12 hours on this last week, just on her face, and what a tremendous waste of time and paint and, supplies it was. And then last night I spent another 3-4 hours on it. I don't work that way normally. I normally just get the work done, but because, most of the people I paint, I know. It's extremely important to me that I treat them with respect. And in treating them with respect, it's making them feel correct. Not making them look the way I want them to look, but making them feel like the individual. So when you walk in a room, you don't go, that's a great likeness of Heather, but God, that feels like Heather. That moves like Heather. And hopefully Heather can look at it and feel herself, I guess, in the image. I don't know how to put it. Plus I'm watching Bugsy teeter on a stool over there in the corner. I don't know what he's doing. He's a nutty dog. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work and hopefully I'll find the rhythm and the way to correct Heather. But in the meantime, I'm going to be pulling up Vidal's face and making some changes. This painting should be further along, but I think this is why I've been stuck. I've got to pull his chin up, I've got to pull his lips up, pull his eyes up. Then we'll be good to go. Alright, I think I have to go save Bugsy. Cirque du Soleil or something. I don't know what he's doing, but it's just like balancing. Alright, ciao.